Man, good people of the world, what's going on? What's going on? Good people of the world. Rev Mio TV, Rev Mio TV. Hey man, listen man, I'm about to give y'all a story, right? One time I was in my early 20s, 21, 22, right before I went to state prison in 1995, right? And me and my partner, man, we got caught with $34,000 in the airport, right? But first, let me say this right here, man. Y'all know what I'm gonna say. Young people, stay out of trouble, man. Stay out of these folks' way. If you've never been to jail, if you've never been to prison, man, please don't go. If you've been to jail, if you've been to prison, man, please don't go back, man. Know what I mean? Make good choices. Good choices leads to good results. Bad choices leads to bad consequences. You feel me? Hey, listen. Next week, Saturday next week, where will it be? Let me see, what will the date be? What will the date be? Saturday next week. Hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna do something right next week. Next Saturday, we're gonna go live, right? I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do. Today the 19th. Today the 19th, so next Saturday is the 26th. So Saturday, October the 26th. Saturday, October the 26th. I'm gonna post that up on here too. I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna go live at 12 noon Eastern time. 12 noon Eastern time. I'm gonna go live, right? And I'm gonna have one of my partners, man. We really related through marriage, right? You know what I'm saying? That's cuz right there, you feel me? But I'm gonna have my partner to call in from prison, right? And y'all got to hear his story too, right? And we're trying to make another push, man, to get him out of prison, man. When he was like 21, 22 years old, he got sentenced to 226 years in federal prison. You heard it right. He got sentenced to 226 years in federal prison. At the time, he didn't have any other convictions on his record besides a traffic ticket, okay? So you probably wondering how he get 226 years. Tune in and listen to the story, okay? He had multiple counts of bank robbery, you know what I'm saying? But the way that he got sentenced is a sentencing structure that has since been outlawed. They are no longer allowed to sentence people in the manner in which they sentence him. It's called the stacking laws, right? It's since been outlawed, but he's still in prison. And a lot of people that were sentenced on the stacking laws have been released from prison. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to hear from him, and I'm gonna bring him on. I might bring him on every week for the next like month or so. You know what I'm saying? And let y'all hear more about his case and more about what's going on inside the prisons, and let him share some of the stories and stuff, man, that he has endured over the past 28 years. He's been locked up 28 straight years. You understand? Since he was like 21, 22 years old, he's been locked up 28 straight years. His name is Maurice Navarro Brooks. Maurice Navarro Brooks. But right now, I'm about to give y'all this story, right? I'm going to tell y'all about this time, man. Me and my partner, Luke, man. Shout out to Luke, man. Y'all lift my partner up in prayer, man. He got MS real bad, man. Like, he been debilitated. Haven't been able to walk in like a dozen years. Like, you know what I mean? He's very, y'all just keep him in prayer, man. But that's my partner, man. But Luke, well, when we was in our early 20s, we started going to Louisville, Kentucky from Atlanta, and, you know, reaping the benefits of making more off of our drugs, you know what I'm saying? And in the process, we would get marijuana from Arizona. So we'll get marijuana from Arizona. Our cocaine connection was in Atlanta. but we would get marijuana from Arizona, right? Well, this one particular trip, me and Luke, and understand, man, this back in '95. So we talk about a long time ago, right? And we had went to Arizona. I mean, we had went to Kentucky. You know, sold the dope that we had, sold the stuff that we had, and so we flew back to Atlanta that morning. That morning we flew back to Atlanta. So we get to Atlanta, man. We were staying at East Point, right? And we get there, and by the time we get there, and we call Arizona, and the folks in Arizona say, okay, it's all good, green light. You know what I'm saying? We can come on out there, get the weed or whatever we were gonna get. So we say, shoot, we might as well go ahead and go. Let's call the airport or whatever. Remember now, this long before the days of going on the computer and booking flights and stuff like that, or you know, going on the internet and booking flights. This was before them times, man. So you know, we called the airport and called the airline or whatever, and you know, check and see which flight we can get on and all this stuff. So we see a flight that we can get on that day. So it's like a few hours away or whatever. And so we booked the flight. Matter of fact, we didn't book the flight then, if I remember right, but what we did is, you know what I'm saying, you can go to the airport and pay for your flight, pay for your ticket, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we did. Went to the airport, Atlanta airport, get to the airport, we go in, we go up to the counter, we pay for our tickets or whatever. And Luke didn't have no luggage. He had no bag to check in, nothing. Luke just had just himself. He didn't have no luggage, no carry-on bag, no nothing. Me, I didn't have no luggage to go under the plane, but I had a carry-on bag, a little carry-on bag, right? And so we didn't know it at the time, but we got flagged. So then when we go to, you know what I'm saying, you know how when you go to an airport and you walking through the airport after you done, you know what I'm saying, you know, got your ticket, then you, I'm finna pull over here and finish telling y'all this story, you know what I mean? Cause I gotta go in right here and go to the bank. So I'm gonna finish telling y'all this story. But man, so we get our ticket, right? Like I said, Luke didn't have no bags. I had this carry-on bag, right? And man, so me and my partner, man, we start walking down. I'm gonna prop y'all up, you know what I'm saying, my good people, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's a good angle, right? Okay, we good right there. So we got our ticket, man. And we get the ticket, you know what I'm saying? You know, you go through security checkpoint and stuff, right? So I got my carry-on bag. You know, you slide it, put it on the conveyor belt, it go through the thing. You walk through the security, they check you, whatever, you keep on going. So I got my bag, we get on our flight, right? Cause we was like, I mean, right when we got there, they was boarding the flight. So we go on, we get on the flight, right? Well, it's a transfer flight. The flight got to stop in St. Louis, Missouri. And then from St. Louis, Missouri, we'll get on another plane to go to Arizona, right? So we get on the plane. Now, once we done got our tickets and all that stuff, what we used to do is when we go to an airport and stuff like that, man, we'll act like we not together. So we ain't speaking, we ain't talking to each other, we ain't looking at each other, none of that. You know what I'm saying? He's, you know what I'm saying, sit somewhere else, I sit somewhere else, right? So we get on the plane, man. I sit on the seat, you know what I'm saying? We ain't acknowledging each other. He sit on the seat. We not acknowledging each other, right? He's somewhere else on the plane. He got $10,000 in his pockets. You know what I'm saying? He got $10,000. I got $24,000 on me, right? So we fly on to St. Louis, right? Remember, this transfer flight, right? So we had Sky Pages back then. Y'all remember them Sky Pages, man. If y'all, you know what I'm saying, my age, man, if you 50 years old, then you remember a time when you had Sky Pages. You know what I'm saying? So cell phones was around too. You know what I'm saying? And people was really starting to get cell phones at the time. But right before then, Sky Pages was a big thing. So I had a Sky Pager, you know what I'm saying? And so this girl who I used to mess with in Louisville, Kentucky, she had hit me on my Sky Pager, right? Well, she had some money that she was holding for me from a dude that had owed me some money in Louisville. So she had hit me or whatever. So when I got off the plane in St. Louis, I go to the phone booth right there in the terminal. I get off the plane, go to the phone booth right there in the terminal. And so I called the girl, you know what I'm saying? So I called the girl, you know, hey, what's up? You know, blah, 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 blah. And she like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, God, blah, 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 blah. You know, I got your money from what's his name, you know, and I ain't gonna say dude name or nothing, but I got your money. And, you know, when you're coming back through, you know what I'm saying? You know, that type of thing. So, you know, me, I'm like, you know, take you a couple hundred or whatever, something like that. And just hold on to the rest. I'll let you know I should be there, you know what I'm saying, within a week or maybe in a few days or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So I'm talking on the phone, but I ain't saying nothing incriminating. But what happened is a group of white people surrounded me. They got on plain clothes. A group of white people surrounded me, right? And they real close to me. They like bumping into me, like real close to me, like they're being I feel uncomfortable. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I take the phone from my ear and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me some space type of thing, right? And they still standing right there. And so I hang the phone up. As soon as I hang the phone up and I take a step, they grab me. Remember, all of them got on plain clothes. So they grabbed me, right? From both sides. You know what I'm saying? They hooked me under my arm on this side, on this side. So it's like 4 or 5 of them. So they like, come with us. I'm like, come with you for what? You know what I'm saying? I'm in the airport. I'm right there at the terminal. And I'm like, come with you for what? So then they start asking me, what's in your bag? So now the only thing that's in my bag is like an outfit, like a pair of shoes. I remember a pair of shoes, and it probably was like a pair of pants and a shirt or something in there. And it was also something in there that I forgot to take out of there when we came from Kentucky that morning. Because I had a habit of, I used to take all the $1 bills out of our money. I would take all the $1 bills out of the money, right? So I had 199 $1 bills that was in my carry-on bag that was rubber band together in like a stack like that. It's 199 $1 bills, you know what I'm saying, in a stack like that. And I had forgot to take that out of the bag, right? So that $199 was in there. The $24,000 is in my pockets. You know what I'm saying? So they like, what's in your bag? No, they said, can we search your bag? I'm like, search my bag for what? And they like, can we search your bag? And I'm like, man, search my bag for what? So I'm like, no, you can't search my bag. And so I look over there and I see my partner, Luke. A group of them got him too. So they got both of us. So they got Luke like across the aisle from me. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, Luke from the Virgin Islands, right? So whenever Luke get mad and get angry, then his Virgin Island, you know what I'm saying, that Caribbean accent and get real heavy and strong. So he like, no, my nigga, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So he like that. Like him, he hated the police worse than anybody I ever seen in my life. Like he used to have a habit of just cussing out the police, right? So he like, my nigga, don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like that, right? So we ain't got nothing illegal on us. We just got money on us, right? Now, here go another thing though. I had a warrant out for my arrest. I had a warrant out for my arrest for probation violation because I had got locked up in Atlanta. I had got locked up in Atlanta on a gun charge, right? So Cobb County had put a warrant out for my arrest because I had made bond, you know what I'm saying, and skipped out or whatever. So anyway, we in this airport, the folks got me and they got him, all right? This DEA, okay? So they start pulling their badges from around their neck, and they got them badges, you know what I'm saying, with the you know, they hang on the neck like a necklace and stuff. They pull them badges out like that, and they flashing their badges. And so they keep asking me, can they search my bag? And I'm like, no, you can't search my bag. And they were like, what's in the bag? Like, man, ain't nothing in the bag of clothes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So finally, every time they done bought Luke over now, and we standing right beside each other. But they still like they got us surrounded. And so every time they asking me, can they search my bag, Luke keep answering too. And he like, no, you can't search his bag. No, you can't search his bag. You effing this and effing that and blah, 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 blah. No, you can't search his bag. So finally, they get tired of Luke yelling and screaming. You know what I'm saying? And so they tell him, look, you free to go. Just go ahead. So they tell Luke he free to go. So Luke's still standing there arguing with them, right? And so I'm trying to give him, you know what I'm saying, eye contact and just tell him, man, go ahead on, man. Ain't no sense in catching no petty charge for obstruction or whatever it is, disturbing the peace, whatever they, you know what I'm saying, could have charged him with. Because they probably gonna lock me up anyway. I got a warrant from probation, right? So they tell Luke he free to go. So finally Luke take off walking. So he gone, he take off walking. So they keep asking me, can they search my bag? They got me, you know what I'm saying, like standing up against the wall, man. But I'm not facing the wall. I'm just leaning up against the wall like this. I'm like, no, man, search my bag for what? Ain't nothing illegal in my bag. I got clothes in my bag. You know what I'm saying? And so finally, I keep telling them no, man. Finally, they just grab me, man, just manhandle me, grab me, jack me up, stretch me out against the wall. Now I'm facing the wall. They got me against the wall. They snatch the bag, snatch it off of me. They open up the bag and they see ain't nothing but clothes in this bag and this bundle of $1 bills, 199 $1 bills, right? So when they see ain't nothing in the bag, then they start searching me. So they start going in my pockets and stuff, pat searching, and they pulling out all this money. They pulling out all this money out of my pockets. It's $24,000, right? So they're like, oh, okay. So they got me. They got the money, and they got me, and they walked me down to this place downstairs in the airport. So walking through the airport, and we end up going downstairs in the airport, down, you know what I'm saying, like you walking through a corridor type of thing, and we're going down this hallway, and they put me in this room. When we come down the hallway, they put me in the room to the left, right? And then about a couple minutes later, let me rewind. So when they started pulling the money out of my pockets, then they hit on the radio. They like, apprehend the other suspect, blah, 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 blah. So they hit right back. We got the other suspect, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So they communicating on the radio. So they was obviously following Luke. Even though they told him that he was free to go, they still was following him. So he didn't even get off of airport property. You understand what I'm saying? He didn't make it out the airport. So they got him too. So when they brought me down these stairs and down this hallway, and they put me in this room to the left, then a couple minutes later, they bring Luke in, but they put him to the room to the right. So he across the hall from me. He directly across the hall from me. So we can see each other. You know what I'm saying? Because these doors, you know what I'm saying, they got glass windows on them. So we can see each other. So we like, you know what I'm saying, we, you know, giving hand signals type of thing. Like, so I'm like, so now they telling us the man, different federal agents keep coming in there and they saying, you know, where you get this money from, you know, blah, 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 all this stuff. So I keep saying, I got the money from my mom, from my mama. Remember, this 1995. So this later 95, this right before I went to state prison in 95. So I already had turned 22. So, and now understand, I got a real baby face at the time. I'm 22 years old at the time, but I probably look like I'm 17, 18 years old. I could easily go for 17, 18 years old. Baby face and got no hair on my face, you know what I'm saying? And they asking me where I get this money from. I got it from my mama, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I got it from my mama. That was my answer. I got it from my mama, you know what I mean? So they asking me why I'm going to Arizona, you know, this, that, and the other. So I'm like, I'm just going to visit family, you know what I'm saying? You know, why you traveling with all this money? I'm like, I can't travel with money, you know? So that was it. So they say, well, we're going to give you a receipt for your money, but we called the dog in to see if the dog hit on the money. So they want to see if the money, you know, if the dog gonna smell drugs on the money or whatever. Let me see something. Let me tell you something though. Any money in the world, if they bring a drug dog to sniff that money, they gonna always hit on the money, man. Always. I never seen it where a dog did not hit on the money. I done heard other people's stories, and I got another story of when a dog said to, you know, hit on the money, and they confiscated some money and stuff too, right? But a dog gonna always hit on the money because money crossed so many hands, and somewhere along that line, it's gonna touch somebody's hands who've been smoking marijuana, who've been around other drugs, who've been snorting cocaine, whatever. Money gonna always have a scent to a dog anyway of, you know what I'm saying, drugs. So they say, well, we're going to bring the dog in. If the dog don't hit on your money, we going to give you your money back and we're going to let you go. If the dog do hit on your money, then we going to give you a receipt for your money and we still going to let you go. So I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So maybe they don't know I got this warrant on me, right? So I'm like, okay. So I'm talking to Luke through the door, but we not talking with our voice verbally. We like giving hand signals. So me, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So Luke like, I'm like, man, they give me a receipt, whatever money, I'm finna go because I got a probation warrant. I ain't trying to be locked up somewhere in St. Louis and they got to extradite me all the way back to Georgia and all this stuff. So I'm telling Luke, I'm gonna go. They give me a receipt, I'm gone. So then Luke, like, I'm staying right here. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Luke feel like, man, look, I ain't going nowhere. Luke said he ain't staying, he ain't going nowhere. He want his money, right? So man, long story short, so different agents keep coming in there and they tripping on how young I look. You know what I mean? Then finally, I'm sitting in the room by myself, man, and another agent coming out. And he said, oh, Mr. Brinson. He said, what's the matter? He said, you ain't been reporting to probation or something? So I just look at him like this. So I know now that they know I got a warrant for my arrest. So I look at him and I do like that, like, dang. And he said, don't worry about it. He said, don't worry. He said, we still gonna give you a receipt for your money and we still gonna let you go. And he said, the dog don't hit on your money, we still gonna give you your money and we gonna let you go. So I'm like, I said, man, look, y'all can just go and give me the receipt now and just gonna let me go. Forget waiting on the dog. You know what I'm saying? Just let me go. So he like, all right, okay, we'll just give you a receipt for the money. So I said, man, y'all just gonna give me the receipt for the money. What they did is, they bought the money in there, and they put it on the counting machine, and they counted the money. Just counted the money. You know what I'm saying? So by the time they getting ready to, they kept stalling what they were doing, but they kept saying, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna give you the receipt for the money, we're gonna let you go. So I'm like, man, just go ahead and give me the receipt for the money, let me go. I ain't got to wait on no dog to come and sniff no money or whatever, right? So the doggone so by this time now they done stalled long enough, and then the man was like, oh, okay, well, here come the dog. So they bringing the dog down, right? So they bringing the dog, and the dog, they took one they didn't put me and Luke money together. They took my money and they put it like up under a desk in this office or whatever. They took Luke money and put it like over behind the trash can. You know what I'm saying? So they bring Luke in the room with me. They bring him in the room with me, right? And then they bring the dog in. So they bring the dog in. The dog, you know what I'm saying, he sniff around up under the desk. He back up, he sit down. You know what I'm saying? And they say he hit on that money. He sniff around some more. He go sniff around by the trash can. He back up, he sit down. Okay, so they say he don't hit on both stacks of money. So they like, okay, we still gonna give you a receipt for your money. We're gonna let you go. So Luke was like, man, I want my money. You know what I'm saying? You know, blah, blah. I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, whatever, man. The man, they say the dog can hit on the money. Just go on and get your receipts or whatever so we can get on up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling Luke, like, man, you know, I got the, you know what I'm saying, the probation warrant or whatever. So in the meantime, they go on, they get the receipt. They bring us the receipt for the money, right? They give Luke his receipt, $10,000. They give me my receipt. My receipt short, it say $9,199. They took $24,000 out of my pockets. They gave me a receipt for $9,199, right? I ain't tripping though. I got this warrant, man. Just give me my receipt. Let me go. You know what I mean? So they give us $60 a piece. $60. You know what I mean? We didn't carry credit cards and all this stuff back then. You know what I mean? In 1995, I probably didn't even have a credit card. You know what I mean? I don't think I did in 95. And I know Luke didn't. So they give us $60 a piece. They give him $60. They give me $60. Right? They gave, you know, so we got our receipts. We free to go. They let us go. So boom. So we done missed our flight. Flight over with. We done missed that. Forget going to Arizona now. Ain't no need to go into Arizona because we were going out there to get some weed. Now they done took our weed money. With that $34,000, we were gonna get close to 100 pounds of weed. You know what I'm saying? And bring it back. For that $34,000, we were gonna get close to 100 pounds of weed. Anywhere from 75, you know what I'm saying, pounds to maybe even 90, maybe even 100 pounds. But by that time, you know what I'm saying, the weed probably wouldn't have been no good if we got a whole 100. But we probably would have at least got 75 pounds, 80 pounds, something like that with the 34,000. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, so me and Luke, we walking through the airport. We get up out the airport, and so we jump in one of the taxis, you know what I'm saying? So we tell the taxi dude, the taxi driver, hey, you know, take us to a local hotel or whatever. So it was a hotel close to the airport or whatever. And we go to the little hotel. It was like a little Holiday Inn or something. So now we get to the hotel. So now, so I called my brother, right? So my brother, you know, he was doing his thing back in Atlanta at the time. So I called him. I said, hey, man, but me and Luke, you know what I'm saying, blah, 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 in so many words, you know what I mean? Man, the feds and took our money out here in St. Louis, you know, blah, 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 blah. So my brother, you know what I'm saying, he one of them. My brother, first thing he say, you know, he got something going on with his thing, you know what I'm saying, with his operation. And first thing he say is, man, what you called me for? So you know how you get kind of spooked when a person tell you, man, you know what I'm saying, the police been on them, or they been locked up, or the police just question them or whatever. Now they think they being tracked, or your phone tapped, or whatever the case is. He said, man, what you call me for? So really, I'm just putting them up on game. You know what I'm saying? So I called a girl in Kentucky. I tell her, I said, listen, the one who I had called from the airport, I tell her, I say, listen, I say, send me $1,000 in Western Union. I tell her where I'm at, St. Louis, blah, 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 blah. Send me $1,000. So what me and Luke gonna do is, the plan is, the next day we're gonna go, that next morning, get the $1,000. I'm gonna give him 500. I'm gonna take 500, and we're gonna split up. We don't know what's going on. We young. We just been hemmed up by the DEA. These folk done took our money, and you know what I mean? We don't really know what's going on for real, for real. And I'm gonna tell y'all in a minute why they stopped us too. You know what I mean? And how this really could have been avoided. So we go to Western Union that next morning. She done sent the money. I get the $1,000. I give Luke 500. I take 500. So we split back up, because we don't know if we finna be picked up or what. So we split back up. But we had looked up the bus schedule, the Greyhound bus schedule. So we gonna get on the Greyhound bus, and we gonna ride that mud, not home to Georgia. We gonna ride it to Louisville, Kentucky. So Louisville, Kentucky, let me see what the miles is, what the distance is, man. Louisville, Kentucky, from St. Louis, Missouri, right? So St. Louis, Missouri, I'm finna look up the miles on that mug. So this is what we did. Louisville, Kentucky. So that's what you're looking at, right? St. Louis to Louisville, you're looking at 260 miles, something like that, right? So then so we doggone agreed to meet up at the bus station at a certain time, whatever it was, like 1, 2 o'clock, something in the afternoon. And, you know, whichever one of us make it there first, go ahead and get the bus tickets or whatever. So we get to the bus station about the same time. So we go get the bus tickets. We get on the bus. So now we heading to Louisville, Kentucky. We on the bus now. And we leaving St. Louis, Missouri. And we heading to Louisville, Kentucky, right? And okay, let me tell you how we got stopped in the first place. That $199, the first red flag is we showed up at the airport and we had not purchased our ticket in advance. That's a red flag. You know what I'm saying? To security, to the airport. That's a red flag. We showed up, paid cash at the counter for a ticket all of a sudden. That was the first red flag. But the reason we got stopped is when we went through security and I put my bag through on the little conveyor belt thing, then inside the bag, that $199, they didn't know what it was for real. They thought it could have been drugs. You see what I'm saying? Remember, it's just in a stack like this. And so they thought it could have been drugs. So when we got off the plane in St. Louis, they had been notified. You know what I mean? And so that's why they wanted to search my bag so bad. That's what they thought I probably had drugs in the bag. You know what I mean? So anyway, fast forward, right? So me and Luke on the bus, right? Young people. Ain't none of this stuff worth it, man. Okay? Ain't none of this stuff worth risking your freedom. Ain't none of this stuff worth risking your life, your livelihood. None of that stuff, man. Okay? Stay out of trouble, man. Do something positive with your life, man. So we on the bus and we riding. We so paranoid, right? So Luke sitting behind me. And man, we so paranoid, man. We keep thinking some of these people on the bus, man, they might be feds and all kind of stuff. So we just kind of keep looking back and looking at each other, man. So he got the same thought I got, right? So by the time we get to Indianapolis, you know, you got to drop people off on the Greyhound. You're going to drop people off you know what I'm saying, as you go to different cities or whatever. So we make it to Indianapolis, Indiana. So Indianapolis, Indiana is still 115 miles, according to Google, 115 miles from Louisville, right? So we get there. So Luke, he walk, he get up, he come past me. He like, hey man, I'm finna go, man. So I get off the bus. He get off the bus. Like, man, what's up, man? Let's catch a cab, man. Man, we can just get in a cab, catch a cab from here to Louisville, right? So we said, yeah, man, let's just catch a cab. So we catch one of the cab drivers, and we, you know what I'm saying, tell him where we want to go. So he like, he don't want to take that trip. You know what I'm saying? It's a long trip. Like, man, we need to go to Louisville, man, Kentucky. And he like, man. So, like, look, man, we'll tip you good. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, how much you think it's going to be? You know what I mean? I'll go ahead and pay you now. You know what I mean? So, he, you know what I'm saying? You know, a cab got them little meters on them and stuff like that. And he trying to figure it up in his head or whatever. So he said, you know, give me 2 something now, like 200 and something now, whatever. So I gave him whatever that is now. And I said, man, look, I got more money, you know what I'm saying? I'll pay you some more, you know what I'm saying, when we get there, whatever. So he like, okay. So we jumped on in the cab, man. And we took on off going down 65, man, I-65. And we made it on to Louisville, right? We get to Louisville. And we go over there, man. We get out the cab over there, man. East Muhammad Ali Boulevard, right? And I break them. We ended up paying like 300, something like that, man. It was like 300. You know what I'm saying? We ended up paying for the cab or whatever, man. And so we get on out. And man, the thing is, they took the money, but they gave me a receipt, $9,199, when they took $24,000 from me. You know what I'm saying? And we never ended up getting the money back. I went to my lawyer at the time, you know what I mean? And, you know, we spoke about it, talked about it or whatever. And he advised me to leave the situation alone, because obviously I was in the streets, and all I would really do, basically what he was saying is, all I would really do is bring more heat on myself by trying to fight these people for this money. You know what I'm saying? He knew what I was doing, you know what I'm saying? But that's the story, man. Me and my partner Luke, man. Shout out to old Luke, man. Keep him in your prayer, man. Because God is able to do anything, man. God is able to even heal him off of his sick bed, even though he haven't walked in over 12, 13 years. You know what I mean? And he don't have use of his limbs and stuff, you know. He can use his right hand a little bit, and that's it, you know. But y'all keep him in prayer, man. I know it's some people, man, some real prayer warriors too, who listen to some of my stories, man. Y'all keep my partner Luke in prayer. God is able to do all things, you know what I'm saying? But God changed my life. He changed my heart, my way of thinking from what I was back then, you know. God changed me, man. And young people, I just gave y'all this story, man, really just to enlighten y'all. Because when you're doing stuff that's wrong, then yeah, the people can take your stuff. But if that money was legal, then they either A, would have never took my money, or B, I would have got my money back. You understand? But because I was doing illegal stuff, they took my money, and I ended up not getting the money back, man. But that's the story today, man. Rev Mio TV. Yeah, the people took $34,000 from us, man. Know what I mean? When I was 22 years old, they took $32,000 from us in the airport, man. We were going to get some weed from Arizona, man. Hey, look, remember, Saturday next week, I'm gonna bring Navarro Maurice Brooks on. That's gonna be Saturday, October 26th at 12 noon Eastern time. Y'all tune in. We're gonna do this live. I ain't never did a YouTube live, but I'm gonna try to figure it out, and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna do it live. Well, really, I'm just gonna talk from one phone to the other one, and just let y'all hear him tell his story. You know what I mean? And if y'all know some people, man, y'all advocate for the man, man. Yes, okay. he committed multiple bank robberies, man. But nobody got injured. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got killed, right? He been locked up 28 years, man. He was young, man. We make our worst mistakes, our worst choices in life. Most of the time, we make them between our teenage years up until about 25, okay? He was young, man. It's time to let the man go, man. He been locked up 28 years, man. All right? So, hey, man, y'all be blessed, man. Rev Mio TV, young people stay out of trouble. If you never been to jail, if you never been to prison, please don't go. If you been, please don't go back. Rev Mio TV.